Okay, well, our first perspective here is, my interpretation of this is, where do we feel called to be in our energy with the horses? And so I came out here with an intention of seeing what energy or wisdom or medicine wanted to come forward. And I was drawn to Callie. So I wanted to have the opportunity to share a little bit about Callie and her medicine, what she kind of represents, and the interpretation of when her energy kind of steps forward. So how I first sort of arrive at what energy is needed. So when I come out here with the herd, I often will come out with the intention of, what energy or medicine do I need to be with, or that is maybe giving me a clue of something that is going on internally with me. And so sometimes we're not always sort of clear, have that awareness of what are we traveling with, or what is at the core of what's going on with us, maybe at a subconscious level. And so I've been noticing that over the last probably couple days to a week, Callie has actually been kind of stepping forward for me. And so when I came out here and just saw her standing still in the center of the herd, I felt a invitation around just sitting in her energy and being curious about what medicine and teaching she wants to bring to me. And so sharing with her too, there's a nice stretch. And so to begin, I named Callie after the goddess Kali, who is a Hindu goddess. And when horses come to me, so for people that don't know, I provide a forever home, nice affirmation for Callie. I provide a forever home for horses in need. And so Callie came to us, I think she's been here, let that shit go, she says. So she's already kind of working with the energy a little bit. So we can see just in her licking and chew and her having a release there, that she's already engaged with the exchange. So I'll just keep talking a little bit about her, and you can receive this. Something that I might sort of offer to people too is, if you want to watch this video on silent and just be in her energy, that you can do that as well. So Callie has been here, I think, about 4 years. And she came to us from a woman who had originally found her a home from a kill pen out in Washington. So she was kind of fighting for her life. I think she was 48 hours from being sent to slaughter. She had a foal outside. And then this woman found her a home with another woman to adopt her. And then the woman who had adopted her was going to euthanize her for simply the reason of not liking her energy. So this woman who had originally got her out of the kill pen found out about me and asked me to give Callie a home. And Callie's a young mare, so we think she's around maybe 9 or 10. And of course, as soon as I met her, I remember this, I was overwhelmed with her presence. And I remember feeling just this shot to the heart. Like she really, I felt it right in my heart. And I was so moved by her. And I remember coming home and just crying for what felt like a couple days. There was something that she stirred up in me. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to give my horses medicine names that really reflect their essence and their journey, and helps them be reflected in their teaching. And so the name Kali came to me, and Kali is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. And part of the reason, I think, I think Kali, having kind of faced death twice, saying not today, she sort of had that journey through death and having like a rebirth. And then the other space to her too is she's fierce. And Kali is known as a fierce goddess that can often, be misunderstood. So Kali came into our herd and she challenged for the lead right away. She didn't win it over because she did it in a little bit of an immature way. And part of that was she was used to fighting for survival. So that was sort of her trauma that she came here with. But the thing that I felt from her was Tarina was our lead mare at the time, and she's an older mare. One of the messages Callie gave me was that there was a space to be filled, and I'm worthy of filling that space. So there's a big space around Callie, around worthiness and feeling worthy of our lives. And I think that that was one of the things that moved me so much about her, was that message around I'm worthy of my life, and I'm going to fight for my life in that worthiness. She's also a little bit of a drama queen. She likes to stir the pot a little bit, and she has a ferocity to her. I mean, we're seeing her a lot in her compassion, but she's a little bit of a firecracker in here. And so I think the essence of Callie and that energy, with that ferocity, but there's also, like, Callie's also an incredible space holder, especially for women. I think she holds this deep well of compassion, of understanding, I think, the wounding of the journeys we sometimes have to take, and being a survivor, you know, in a lot of ways. But I think for me, it's her fierceness in claiming her life and the worthiness of, she's worthy of a life, and not just any kind of life, but a life where she's honored and revered, has always been something really moving for me. The other thing I think that's really interesting as we go into 2020, and I know that I'm actually moving through a cycle of death and loss. 2021 was a big loss year, and one of the themes that stepped forward for me was around rebirth, and it's a rebirth year, and I feel like Callie and her death and rebirth around Callie energy really holds that, of being able to know that, you know, there's always that cycle of rebirth, but part of the rebirth cycle that I often get with Callie is the invitation to, like, really do our deep work around the wounds, the things that need to really be left behind so we can be reborn. So it's not surface diving, it's really being held in that deep space of healing. You know, what are those wounds that are ready to be left behind so we can be reborn? And I think what I feel from her is she held such a deep space of compassion when we're in that. And I think having that invitation for us to be in that space of compassion as well for ourselves as we journey, and that we're held in that, you know. I think it's very courageous for us to go through that cycle of death and rebirth, and to, I think, hold the worthiness and the fierceness of who we are and claiming that life. So I feel that she's really holding that invitation for us as well. And we're getting a little bit of calling from the herd, so that's interesting, of maybe what new life is calling to us after this experience. So now I just wanted to be able to sit here and just offer, that's a little bit of wisdom around her. If you want to just kind of sit and just watch this video or feel her energy. So I really feel she's just giving us a lot of support. Oh, she's also facing east, I should say. So east is the direction of new beginnings, which I think is appropriate for that rebirth theme. What is calling to us that is ready to come? So we have some of that energy too. So just now, even if you just want to take a couple moments and just feel and imagine that Callie and her energy is radiating out and giving you what you need right now. The courage, the healing, the support. Sometimes, again, how I integrate this wisdom is, and the offering of the horses coming forward and offering themselves this way is allowing ourselves to receive the energy that they're giving to us to help us in what we're journeying through. And so even if you want to watch this video and just sit and allow yourself to be in the space of Callie and her wisdom, and where you feel her energy in your body giving you support, and where can you anchor into that space of worthiness and knowing that a rebirth is here for you. And maybe hold some space for you to really allow yourself to do some of that deep work around those wounds that are ready to be let go. And feel yourself held and loved as you do so. So again, invitation to watch this video again, but without sound, so you can feel her wisdom. And then for a deeper invitation, we have created a deck, a wisdom deck with our herd. If you'd like to journey with our herd wisdom deck, Callie included. And we'll share that link in the video for you to do so. Otherwise, let us know where this maybe resonated for you today and where you needed to sort of feel Callie and her medicine for what you're moving through. And thank you for Callie for coming and holding space for us today.